This tries to be unsolved mysteries so hard, and it fails on every fucking level. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon, reviewing Files of the Unexplained. What's this about? Pretty simple premise. There is roughly 8 episodes in this Files of the Unexplained, and we deal with UFOs, we deal with ghosts, we deal with feet, we deal with other shenanigans that, maybe 2 of these episodes are pretty interesting, while the other ones are fucking garbage boys. This is garbage boy stuff. Alright, so me and my mom were watching these, right? And, okay, the first one about UFOs, sure, okay, it's believable. The second one, okay, it kind of feels like I'm being lectured because you're bringing social media and stuff that really has nothing to do with occurred in the past, alright? Third one, I'm being lectured again on social justice warrior shit. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of seeing a theme of victimhood of the umpteenth degree. All right, maybe it was just 2 of them. Again, I'm getting lectured. It's boredom, and it's basically social justice warrior woke-ish shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? All right, then Netflix screwed up somehow. Maybe I fell asleep, and so it played 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, there's this mountain one. What the fuck is this weird mountain Native American one in California? That is like just a bunch of hippy dippy fucking social justice warrior bullshit. And I was like, okay, time the fuck out. What the fuck is this bullshit unsolved mystery shit? And it's fucking produced by Vox. VOX. And that's where I dropped the phone and been like, this is liberal propaganda just squeezed into these stories that didn't need to. Like, you would have a good story with most of them the first 20 minutes. Then the last half, they're like, social justice, social justice, social justice, social justice. And you're just like, you're getting slapped in the face. And you're like, just fucking stop. Anyway, so if you want to be lectured and you want to be bored, this is the documentary for you. And like I said, there are 2 good episodes. And let's go through these episodes one by one. And hopefully I'll get like 35 to 45 seconds a piece. So I don't want to go by top rated. I always want to go out one by one. Okay, the first one was about alien abductions. This is about a 1973 fishing trip with 2 people getting abducted. This was a good one. This is one where it didn't have an agenda. It was just basically saying these 2 people and what they're going to do with their life from the 70s to now. Of course, one of them is still alive. One of them is dead. Okay, no, I lied. They're both dead now. One of them wasn't really into the limelight, but one of them used the alien abductions to get in the limelight. And so people were thinking, okay, maybe he's lying about it. But I do think there is some truth to this just because of one of the characters, and you can just tell something happened to him. The next one, Ghosts of Martle's Plantation. This is the one where I was intrigued in the first 20 minutes, and then it goes to like, how dare you make this a plantation? How dare you make this a tourist thing? Because there's one lady on my ancestors died. And you're like, okay, lady, I need you to tell me that your ancestors were slaves. Because people need to realize some black people ancestors weren't slaves. Some black people's ancestors sold slaves. Some people's ancestors were the black people whipping other black people. So, and also, they're like, it almost be the white people. No, wasn't it Don Cheadle's ancestors Native American slaves? And then Dave Chappelle also brought up where black people were also some of the meanest to other black people in the slave era. So, when it comes to this shit where I just hate it when people are like, my ancestors, okay, sure, some were. However, and if you say, I need to give you whatever it's called, money, you need to prove that my ancestors had slaves. And I promise you they didn't, because they were poor as fucking shit. And I think the percentage like 11% or less of people actually owned slaves back in the day. So hold your horses on this social justice bullshit. And what I think is very interesting is that the owner is a white guy, and he's just like, I know there's something bad about this. But then there's a black lady that is like intrigued by the history and brings in no political opinion into this. She brings like the stories of the past, what occurred, and she is very straight and narrow, and she is a tour guide through and throughout, and doesn't bring her personal opinion into this. Like, she was the best part of this tour guide that's been on this land and known the owner since he was like 3 years old. That was the most fascinating part. But okay, that's where I was like social justice stuff happening. All right, then it actually got to the top rated one, missing Yuba County 5. So this was good about 5 people just randomly going missing, walking through 19 miles of snow. Very intriguing mystery. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Of course, at the very end, it goes to a cop bashing thing where it's just like, okay, of course, social justice warriors, you go into the cop bashing. Sure. Yes, could the cops probably done more? Absolutely. But at a point, it's like you got to figure out, like, what are they supposed to do at a point? Like, yes, it's been a year, it's been 6 months, it's been 8 months. It's like, at a point, I hate to say it, there's more murders happening. There's more shenanigans happening. And I know, like, the center of tension thing where it's like, so I understand it, but at a point, you got to see both sides. And that's what that one didn't do. The next one, governments, UFOs, conspiracy. Of course, this is the one that's basically saying the U.S. is, hiding all these UFOs, blah, blah, blah. Watch Quarter Digital. They go through the reports, and they actually are very smart. They're VFX jobs, and they're like, nope, you could prove right here. This is a glare. So half this shit in this one I didn't believe just because. I just feel like they think there's Paul down in a dungeon somewhere in Area 51 with the Raiders of the Lost Ark helping Steven Spielberg make movies. I feel like that's what they want us to believe. Anyway, the next one, Haunting of Lake Lanier. This one, I mean, the premise was interesting. Oh my god, a man-made lake that's haunted. And then it turns into, nope, it's not haunted, but there's bad shit down there because there is a community of black people and they built this lake above it. But it's called like Oscarville. Sure, but the same people that are like, it's not haunted, but there's shit down there, you're like contradicting yourself at a point. Sure, it seemed like this Oscarville was like a good black and white community, but then something happened, kind of like what's that movie that happened last year? That the lynching, the really fucked up lynching with that one kid. Horrible shit that happened. Till. So yeah, I understand shit like that. But when you're contradicting your stories in this, I think that's what bothers me the most. Where you're like, this shit ain't haunted. However, there's a town down here that was buried and all the black people and stuff like that. So it's like, again, social justice shit where you're just like, that's why I just hate. I hate double standards. I hate hypocrisy. I hate you saying one thing and then 30 seconds later you're saying something else. And at a point, it's like, when did this town, because it never really explained when this town, quote unquote, disappeared and when this lake actually occurred, because it was about bringing 2 rivers into a lake. So, like I said, it felt social justice and it felt very pushed at a point where you're just like, you're getting random families into it and trying to bring other things into it. Like I said, it was a jumpy fucking episode, and they got a 4.7 out of 10. Next one, Mystery of Mount Shantna. This was the most hippy-dippy one where there was no fucking mystery. I'm sorry, there was no mystery. It started at the very beginning where it's like a ski slope or ski town went under. And you're like, oh shit, this is going to be interesting. Nope, it goes nowhere. And that's what all these episodes do. The first 20 minutes, it sucks you in. Then they change the agenda on you, just like the libs always do. Then we go the Bizarre Blobs of Washington. This is an interesting one where it's like, where are these blobs coming from? Where are the blobs coming from? You don't know, and you will never know. Could it be jellyfish? Or then are we blaming it on the military? So, the 2 easiest fucking things to do. Anyway, the last one, Floating Feet of Salsh Lake. Whatever. It's another Canadian one where it's like 27 feet show up and people are just like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Just random feet showing up and people are like, well, suicides, but why just feet? Like, I'm sorry. That mystery there's something missing with that one. And people are thinking there's these. Then it goes to these fucking Loch Ness monsters and snake eating people, and you're like, what? What are we talking about? Snake eating people? It sounds like an Adam Sandler just like making a joke at a point. But yeah, of course I do think there's a murder on the loose, and Canadians don't want to find it because Canadians are like, oh, don't you know? It's just, we're hockey, and okay, that's horrible. I know. I've been to Vancouver, and that's it. Anyway, this was a horrible show. I mean, Files of the Unexplained, a slap in the face, because you get actually with Unsolved Mysteries, there is clues. There is something that makes you want to tug on that string. Here, there is no string tugging. It is fucking horrendously bad. Yes, you have like 2-ish good episodes. The rest are garbage. And then, like I said, it sucks you in. Then it does a left turn on every other episode. And it's a big slap in the face of how shitty this really is. Like I said, you must be thinking, oh my God, how dare you say all this stuff. Like I said, the Plantation one, the best one was the Black Tour Guide, where she was actually trying to tell a story. Everyone else, agenda. That's why I'm bringing this up, because you're like, oh, like the American Negro movie and stuff like that. Well, people, like, I get attacked for that one, but when I enjoy, like, the Book of Clarence, or if I like American fiction, it's all silence. Not like, oh, I like your review. Silence. But when it's something that, like, so anyway, whatever. I just hate double standards. I hate hypocrisy, and I hate being fucking told a lie and then swings me in another direction. How dare thee? So Files of the Unexplained will receive a 1 out of 5 with Futon, which goes at 20%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics. It looks like there's none of them. Let me look at the details. But audience, a 12% with fewer than 50. That is abysmal. So, and some people are saying it's some of the worst they've ever seen. So, yeah, the narrator was bad. The whole thing was just fucking atrocious. 2012. Oh, wait, we do have 3 critics. Oh, here we go. We do have 3. We have a positive, a negative, and a positive. So 66, 12, 20. Good job, critics, being social justice warriors. Chase out here with Boo Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Booton Toby. Booton, take watch a great day. I don't care what to say tomorrow. We can find 1 3 year for every single freaking one of you. And sorry, don't do this. I'm saving you like 4 hours of your life. Don't.